Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Examiner Gamer podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tristan. I am joined once again by Lauren.
Hey,
She's
guys.
back from her mini hiatus.
Hope you're not sick of me yet.
Yes, like she was sick.
I was very sick.
So, she's come back, and
So
Shay
if my
is
voice gives out, that's, I was sick. Sick.
on the back catalog once again. Anyway, it's actually been a very productive week for me. I have been playing a lot of games. I teased last time that I should be getting some review codes soon, and I got a literal plethora. But let's start off by talking about...
Plethora?
Not a fake plethora, not like a 2 games.
Literal.
Actually, I don't even know, what would a plethora be? How many would you say that would be?
I guess it depends on what you're talking about.
I'm saying 5.
5? Okay, sure.
5 means a plethora to me, at least.
It's a copious plethora.
Anyway, so since last we discussed things, I got this code for this game called Starwall, and my review is up along with my video review, you can whatever that. But I played with Lauren a little bit, and
yes, I spent the 15-20 minutes we played doing somersaults with my space narwhal, and it was awesome.
For those that don't know, Starwall it came out last year for the PC on Steam and stuff like that, and it just re-released now on the PS4 with a couple new enhancements. And essentially, it is a local co-op or a local multiplayer game where you played a space narwhal, and you can customize.
Why not?
Yeah, because why not? Exactly. And you customize your character by color. You can put a mustache on them, or have like fake references to stuff like Mega Man or Assassin's Creed, along with the Achievement Hunter guys, which is very weird addition. Very fourth wall.
Why not?
Yes, exactly. Because why not? And then it plays very similar to QWOP, where controlling the narwhal is very, very hard. And that's part of the fun of it.
I'm pretty sure it gets harder the longer you play.
I think
you do better at the beginning, and then you think about it, and then it gets harder.
I think some modes purposely the controls get a little bit worse. But it's there's different modes. There's like a score attack. There's a classic mode. And it's all essentially you're trying to aim for the other player's heart with your massive horn. And it's just...
And it has some epic slow motion when you go in for the kill. Like, somehow they make it feel epic.
Very similar to Pac-Man Championship Edition. When the ghost is about to kill you, it zooms in and gives you a chance to basically avoid that attack. The best way I can describe this is it's a stupid, fun game. The premise is just, like, way out there.
Definitely for 2 people or more. I don't know if it would be as fun to play by yourself.
There are single... challenges to do by yourself, but they're not great, really. And playing against like 3 robots is not fun either. So it's definitely a game that you really want to have 4 friends or 3 friends alongside you
or just
to play.
Me. It's fine. It's making it sound like you didn't have any fun.
The more, the merrier. And it's just very chaotic and crazy. But I suggest you should try it out if you need a new multiplayer game that you want to have at parties to pass the controller around. So, let's get into some more meatier games. Lauren, you've been doing that with the meat.
With the meat? After last time I was on and we talked about the new 3DS, and I was like, yeah, it's cool, but I won't be getting one for a while. I immediately went the day it came out and got the new 3DS XL, because that's how I roll. But GameStop was having a pretty good...
Just throw down your money? Listen, this is how I roll. Give me the new 3DS. We don't have any. Did you hear what I said? This is how I roll.
GameStop was having a really good trade-in, and I caved. And it's fine. It's nice. There's no real difference between that and the existing 3DS XL. It's a bit of a pain to do the swap from your system, because you have to take the back of the case off.
The back of the game.
Yeah, well, that's a different thing. You have to take the case off, and then you have to get a screwdriver, and it's a whole deal to get the memory card out so that you can transfer your game data. So that was kind of annoying, but I don't like that it's the glossy cover again, like the original 3DSs were. So it's like
smudgy.
super fingerprinty when the 3DS XL that I
definitely
had.
like the matte finishes better.
Yeah, the matte finish was much nicer, but I figure I'll get a decal for it or something and you won't notice it as much. But otherwise, it's fine. If you're looking, the 3D is nicer, but it's still, for me anyway, like every now and then it's like, I don't know if my eyes are tweaking out or the 3D is tweaking out, and it jumps or something. So
it's probably the cocaine.
Probably, yeah. So it's much nicer, but it's still not perfect. And I mean, it's a nice machine. If you don't have a 3DS XL, I'd say get it. Otherwise, I'd say wait, unless, like me, you really need to have Xenoblade.
Yeah,
but for now, there's not really much in the way of exclusives for it, except for Xenoblade. And with that, I got Majora's Mask. And that's been a good port. It was just like Ocarina of Time. The controls feel really nice.
How does that stick feel?
I don't use the stick a lot in it because with Zelda, it's mainly the Z targeting with the shoulder buttons, and if you want to look forward quick, it's just hitting the one button.
Okay, how do the shoulder buttons feel?
They feel great. They feel just like on the 3DS XL.
Okay.
And there's two of them now, but
That's what I mean.
They both do the same thing.
Oh.
So no matter which one you hit on Zelda, they do the same thing.
That seems.
And I do use the C stick a little bit, but for me, it feels like it's kind of out of the way. At least maybe with Zelda.
It is in a very weird corner.
Yeah, it's like, you're trying to equip your bow or something, then you try to use the C stick, and it's just out of the way, so I haven't used it much with Zelda.
Does it feel okay, though?
Yeah, it's really cool, because it's not actually a stick. It doesn't move. It's, like, pressure sensitive with where your finger's pressing on the stick.
So it's a trackpad.
It's more of a trackpad. It's like those little mice on the computers in laptops.
Okay. So, I know there's been changes for this 3DS model. Like,
yes.
Do you like them, or are you one of the people that are like, you think it's crazy that they changed it, it's not good anymore?
It's weird that they changed it, but they didn't change anything, like, major. Like, some of the cosmetic changes, the thing that tracks your time no longer takes up most of the screen. It's much smaller. I didn't know they had really changed anything, and one time I did this one, like, side quest, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a piece of heart here. That's what I get. I remember doing this. You get a piece of heart. And I got a bottle. And then, like, some other place where I'm like, I get a bottle, I got a piece of heart. And I knew this mask was in some location, and I was looking for it forever, and it wasn't there, and I finally had to Google it, and they're like, oh yeah, in the 3DS version, the mask is now over here. And it's been a while since I've...
Maybe it's better.
Maybe I could just be better. It's been a long time since I played.
That was like your first console, essentially, so I think you must have...
N64, yeah, I am better, but I don't remember all the bosses having giant eyeball weaknesses. And I'm pretty sure the moon is even more terrifying. Like, they put all their HD and res-up graphics into making the moon.
Have you seen that video where someone took Majora's Mask and put Nicolas Cage in, like, everything? Like, he was the moon and the...
Oh, gosh. No, I've not seen that.
I suggest you look it up. Speaking of Nintendo stuff, I played another very recent game that came out, which is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. This is a sequel to... Kirby and the Canvas Curse came out very early in the DS's lifeline, where it was... Essentially, Kirby was a ball, and you controlled him by tracing the stylus on the screen, and then he followed the stylus. Instead of you sucking guys up, you tap him, and he attacks, and you trace him, and it's just weird. So this is essentially the exact same game, but now on the Wii U. And aesthetically, it is very different because this is their first game that they made everything out of clay. And it looks amazing. They made dioramas of all the levels out of clay. They made all the, like, they captured stuff.
That's nuts.
It is a fantastically gorgeous game, but I didn't like Canvas Curse that much, and it goes right to this, and I just don't like controlling with the stylus. The other weird thing is, you have to be looking at the Wii U gamepad the entire time. So, literally the TV is useless.
Why have it on the TV then?
And, yeah.
So, yeah, why not make it for the 3DS then, or something, if that's how it's going to have to be played.
Because I don't think the 3DS could really capture
the graphics.
The graphics, yeah. So, it's one of those games where it looks good and it's very impressive, but controlling it sucks because it's just so finicky and you can die a lot, not because the game is hard, but because it's weird to control with the stylus and trace them on these weird paths, especially fighting bosses. It is kind of a tremendous mess in that way. Not totally bad, just kind of, again, finicky is the best way I can really say it. The co-op stuff is kind of cool because the actual person playing it gets to play with a controller, and I would rather do that than control the stylus. So, I mean, that's what digging is. It's not a bad game. It's just it just has its problems. But speaking of pretty games, you have been playing Dragon Age Inquisition finally.
Yeah, it's probably the prettiest game that I've ever played, at least scenery-wise. I mean, the characters look pretty good too, but they still have problems with hair and teeth. Like, my hair is permanently clipping through my elf rogue's ears. He got old man ears because he's just got hair sticking out of them. But
I think the biggest jump in graphics is when we finally get that right.
yeah, when we can do hair and teeth and laying under the covers. Any game that has somebody laying under the covers, even if it looks awful, gets props for me because you tried. So yeah, my character, while he looks really cool, just always has these tufts of hair that are sticking through his ears, but whatever, you kind of get used to it. But
how many hours have you played?
It tells me I've played like 65. I don't know how I could have played that many.
Oh, wow. So did you get to your keep then?
Yes, I am in Skyhold.
Okay.
I have unlocked all the characters, and now I'm just doing some side quests, but I think I'm going to continue on with the main
it's been
story.
a long time since I talked to you about games, and this is actually like a little bit of a revelation.
I finally sat down. I went to the Dragon Age Keep. I inputted all my choices so I could upload my save files, and it didn't have a slow start, but after you it
picks up. It's very slow, and you don't understand how to really work it.
It definitely has acts, even though it's not separated into acts. But when you get to Skyhold, it's well, that was definitely the end of Act 1.
Did you spend an eternity in that first area?
I thought that was the main area of the game. It was so big. I'm oh, this is the main area of the game.
I've seen
there's 8.
When that game came out last year, there were so many articles. Don't spend forever in the Hinterlands. I'm I don't understand how. And there's new areas? Oh, crap. I didn't know how that game worked.
I kind of went through the first part pretty quickly because I wanted to get Dorian and Cole, and I knew they were the last members that you got. So I didn't rush through the beginning of the game, but I kind of went through it a little faster. Now I've been dicking around and doing some of the more minor side quests and everything.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's get into a new game, though, that just came out last week. It's a new old game, I should say. It's called La-Mulana X. This game originally came out on the PC in 2005. It was one of the earliest indie games, and it's been kind of ported around and upgraded, but this is the first time I believe it's gone to a console. And by console, I mean the Vita. So La-Mulana X, it's the friendliest version yet. There's a little manual that tells you hey, this is your first time. You should do these things in order to get acquainted with the game. And so without knowing that I would have been kind of lost.
That is nice. I know a lot of people complain about some video games making it too dumb for the player, and that's true. But then there's the opposite where they don't tell you anything.
Like Dark Souls.
So it is nice to have some direction when it's something new.
But as for the game itself, you play Indiana Jones, but you just have a different name. It's La Mesa. It's kind of a forgettable name. It's very weird. But you start off in this village, and you're going after the secret treasure, and you talk to all the villagers, and they can sell you stuff. And the game is kind of the most recent thing I can really think of is Spelunky. You're going down to all these caverns, and it plays like Castlevania. You'll get new upgrades like boots that let you run faster so you can jump farther distances, or you can get a hat that makes water impenetrable to you. There's some waterfalls in a certain area in the game where if you go into them, they'll send you down. If you have the hat, you can jump through them, essentially. So stuff like that. And the cool thing is, your character model in the screen will change when you have new equipment. So
that's cool.
When you get all the equipment at the end of the game, you will just be loaded up. And it's kind of a nice little detail. And this version, like I said, they have the new hints and stuff. And they also have a bestiary, so you can look at character art for all the monsters you destroy, and it'll give you little clues about their stats and stuff like that. So it is there's not much of a story except for some places you go in the caverns or the ruins that this thing is this, and you should avoid this, and it's very cryptic clues in order to solve room challenges to unlock new weapons and stuff. And it's kind of in between 16-bit and 8-bit, almost like an MSX game, like the original Metal Gear. And the music is really, really good. So,
that's always good.
Yeah, if you're looking for a Metroid or a Castlevania game, since they're not making those things anymore, this is perfect. Later. Even though this game came out again in 2005, this is the best version yet, and it's definitely. I'm still working my way through it. I'm not done with it yet, but my review should be going up sometime soon. So, but I'm digging it so far. Anyway, that's mostly about it. So, again, next time we'll be able to talk about some bigger games. But for now, that is what we've been playing. And let's get to the news because there are some juicy bits that I want to fondle my mouth on. So, we'll be right back. Time for the news! Woo! So, thanks to GDC and now this weekend as PAX East, the news has been going crazy since the last episode. First of all, I want to talk about Valve because if you read my prediction article in the beginning of January, I predicted that the Steam machines would be out in fall this year, and boom, blammo, they announced that the Steam machine will be launching in November.
Woo! It's like
Unless it gets
future.
delayed, because a lot of things in Valve gets delayed. Yeah. But, you know, technically, let's say I'm right. So
I am pretty excited for the Steam machine because I have a Mac, and most big games are PC only, and I just never got around or up to building a gaming PC. So it'll be nice to take advantage of some of the Steam games.
The Steam sales, and there's like a lot of weird indies that, you know, most of them are coming to consoles pretty much, so you get that. But there's also a lot of beefier PC games that I've never got to play that never been ported, so it'll be nice to have it in a console of some sort. But it's also weird because there's like 12 different versions that every company's like making, and they range just like PCs from like $400 to like $2,000. So it's not like even a straight up I'm buying a PS4, I'm buying the Steam machine. So it's still like a little weird. Anyway, but I mean, some people just don't like to deal with a PC or whatever. Yeah. So let the option be there. It doesn't mean you have to be like PC elitist or whatever. Anyway, Valve also announced that they have their own VR headset, making 3, I believe. So there is the Oculus Rift, there is Project Morpheus for Sony, and now this one is called the HTC Vive. And just like it sounds, they're partnering with HTC to make this.
Okay, this might be one of the ones you mentioned, but wasn't there another one where they were showing off like Minecraft in the living room?
That is a Microsoft thing. It's not a headset, it's a thing that makes augmented reality, essentially. It's crap, I can't remember what the name of it is, but yeah, they show that off too. Everyone's experimenting with some kind of augmented reality or face reality.
Yeah, I have never seen it. When I was at RTX, I stood in line for a while to try the Oculus Rift, but then I didn't. And the point I'm trying to make is anytime I see like it being shown on like YouTube videos or whatever, I get motion sick just watching it. So I'm not sure how I would actually do with it on. I feel like it would be very disorienting.
Those headsets look so heavy. They're like,
I know.
They stick out like 2 feet in front of your face, it looks like. And it just, like, you look so stupid.
Every YouTube video, it's like...
I just want to try it out for myself. It's, I mean, you can buy like developer kits for it, but it's really expensive. Yeah. So to go alongside that though, Project Morpheus is supposed to be coming out next year. So we'll have to see with that. Also what the price would even be for that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I want for virtual reality, because what they're displaying now is just like, for motion control. It's like, oh, it's a cool idea, and some things will be cool, but otherwise it's just going to be wacky and wonky.
Yeah.
Well, those are pretty exciting, but I don't think anything on this list is more exciting to me when I read it, that Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming out on September 1st. Oh my god!
It's not that far away.
It's not that far away. There was last time he showed it, there was like a thing on his shirt that people translated into like June, and I was like, most of the past Metal Gears came out around July, June, so I was like, yeah, that's possible. And then September was like, yeah, it's not June, but hey, it's this year at least. I'll take it. September is a nice time for a game to come out, though, because usually it's a very slow month. That's why I think Destiny did so well, is because usually October, November is the worst months for everything coming out. So making something come out in September is a good strategy.
Because I would say summer is Christmas rush either. You know, people are waiting in October, November.
People are just going to school and they're like, screw this school stuff first. I'm going to play this game and then get back into school.
I didn't do that.
The one thing that concerns me that would delay it is the multiplayer. In that multiplayer is usually a thing that gets delayed because of like, we're still working on it. We want to patch a little bit. And Kojima's like, the thing that has been delaying it so much is we want to get this multiplayer right, and it just makes me like, I don't
patch it like everybody else after. Put out a stupid multiplayer product, have everyone complain, and then patch it. That seems to be how everyone does things anyway.
Make the
patch is a cure-all, fix-all. So
make the single player good, and make the other thing come out on fire, and have a bunch of people write articles, and then write articles like, it's good now. But they also have a special edition, which is $100. It comes with like a special case. And the best thing about it is, besides all the, you get some new guns, or you get this, like, picture book. Cool. That comes with a model hand of his robotic arm from the game.
I like special editions that come with that. Like, my favorite special edition that I got was Uncharted 3. Came with a cool box, and I don't know, belt buckle and a necklace.
Lord of the Rings.
But it
Did it come with the ring, right?
It came with the ring, and it came with his belt buckle, and then it came with this really nice model figure, and it's like that's what's worth spending a little extra money for.
Sony published games usually had a very good statue in them. That one did. Infamous 2 had one. I got a giant Helghast face replica.
That.
It's not a big figure. Actually, no, that came with a figure too, and it's really awesome. But yeah, I mean, they're dumb, but let the people that want to be fans of that thing to like
have
make
something
it
more than, oh, I got this extra level, or oh, I got some special guns. Like I have something physical for this game that I really like.
A Chotsky, yes. As we are adults, we need more toys.
We do.
We need lots more toys because we want to live our childhood. Because toys are fun no matter what your age is. Adults are making video games. It's not like kids are making video games for kids. Adults are making them. So you have to like keep some kind of imagination with you as you grow up. So yeah, and they're also making a special edition piece of 4. PS4. It's red and gold, and which is exactly what his arm looks like. So that's cool. I imagine it's going to be bundled with the game. Dragon Quest Heroes is essentially the latest spin-off in the Dynasty Warriors franchise. It is the Dragon Quest game with all the characters from, like, you know, doing the whole timeline throughout the games, like main characters being in there to stop an evil force with hordes and hordes of monsters. And, you know, there's co-op stuff, and you're fighting stuff, and it's Dynasty Warriors with a Dragon Quest skin. I am a big fan of those games. They're awesome co-op games, just mindless fun. And it's been announced that it's be coming to the West, which, a little trivia for you guys, the last Dragon Quest game we got was Monster Joker 2 on the DS in 2011. Since that game... Bit of a dry spell. Since that game came out, there was Dragon Quest 7. They made a remake for that. They retooled it because the original PlayStation version was just like broken. All across the board, everyone agrees that it's like broken essentially. Then there was also Dragon Quest X, the next game in the series, which is an MMO. It was for the Wii, and then it was for the Wii U, and I believe it's for the 3DS also. And I think they even made like a mobile version for like some stuff.
Not here. Not one of those came over here.
Not one of those came over here. But now we're getting this weird spin-off because essentially every single Dynasty Warrior game comes over here, so we got that. So maybe if you like Dragon Quest, you want to see actual games coming over here, buy like 20 copies, and then the sales will go up and be like, hey, I guess Western people do like Dragon Quest. So
or they'll just think we like Dynasty Heroes.
Yeah,
and they'll just make more of those kind of games.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which wouldn't be bad. Yeah. I wouldn't complain.
I'm excited that we're actually getting this game. But I just want more Dragon Quest, please, Square Enix. So, I mean, that about does it for the news. There's a lot more stuff coming out, obviously, and we'll report on it next time just because it keeps on leaking more and more stuff. Yeah. So, if there's anything we missed, be sure and tell us. But we're going to move on, though. Hey, everybody, it's your host the most, it's Tristan. Are you liking the show so far? I really, really hope you are. I can't stress this enough. I really want to hear feedback. So drop me a line on YouTube or on my Examiner page, anywhere you feel like it. Let me know what you like about the show, what you don't like, what you want to see added. And of course, if you want to support me, you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as follow my writing on Examiner.com. That's EXAMINER. Examiner.com. It's the place to go for everything you want to know. Check it out. Now, back to the show. Welcome back to the most exciting segment of the podcast, which is Game Ideas.
Our opinions forced upon you.
This time, Rock Band 4 was also announced, and it's been teased for such a long time. Essentially, Harmonix was like, hey, you know what? If we made another Rock Band, what would you like to see in it? Not saying we're making it, but, you know, wink, wink.
Just in case.
But now they officially announced that they have badges at PAX. It's like, Rock Band 4, come to our booth. So that's coming to the PS4 and Xbox One.
You got your drum kits, guys.
Yeah, we thought that franchise was dead forever. You know, it was a huge hit, and then it kind of died off. So I thought, what other huge hits, or what other games in general do you want to just be, like, get a sequel to of an idea that just kind of stopped, or just a reboot, or just a new game? Like, what dead franchise, essentially, do you want to see a new game of? First of all, I want to talk about Onimusha, which probably a lot of people don't know about, because it was...
Good game trilogy.
There was 4 games...
Oh, there were 4.
There were 4. The trilogy, well, actually, it's kind of a weird, just like Capcom's whole weird, crazy storytelling. It's all convoluted in some parts. But essentially, it was feudal. It takes place in the feudal era in Japan. You play the samurai, and you fight demons, and it plays like Resident Evil. There's all good old tank controls, and you're
slicing
dudes up with your sword, and you get all these special abilities like a spear with magic powers and lightning.
Yeah, you like absorb souls or something.
You absorb souls to like upgrade yourself, so it had some RPG elements.
The second one. I never played all of them, but I did play the second one. So
did you know that the third one stars Jean Reno?
I did not, but that's awesome.
It takes place it time travels
like the French guy, right?
The French guy, the real. It's not even like. Oh wait, no, it is. I was gonna say it's actually Jean Reno. It's like I'm Jean Reno, and oh no, I'm with the Samurai Times. No, it's.
I would play that game though. I would.
Okay, so Nobunaga sends the main character back forward in time, and then Jean Reno, like Paris is in the modern day attacked by demons from the feudal era, and then he gets sent back to the feudal era, and the fish out of water thing for both characters or whatever, and he's trying to get back to his timeline and vice versa, and he voices his lines in French the whole time, except when he goes back to feudal era. They don't understand him because they're speaking Japanese, but it's English, whatever.
Yeah.
But they actually change his voice so that's like, oh wait, now I can understand you and I can understand myself. How is this happening? And it's a different voice actor, so it's very weird. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they get? I mean, Jean Reno speaks English.
Yeah, but they're like, we'll make a difference. So it's like some kind of weird attention to detail. But all I'm saying is, it is Resident Evil, but with samurai and demons, and it's freaking awesome.
So, would you want a reboot or would you want another one?
Essentially, they kind of did that with the fourth one, which was called Dawn of Dreams, and you could play as 5 different characters. There was actually co-op for the first time in Onimusha, but because it came out in 2006, it came out towards the end of the PS2 when PS3 people were getting excited for that, so that's kind of why it kind of died off or whatever. So I would like a new game in the franchise. I don't want an HD remake or whatever, even though that could be a thing that they make for, this new game is coming. This is to get you up to par. Or you could even just make it just a samurai fighting, make it action-oriented like you try to do with the Resident Evil franchise, which you should have kept more in the line of like horror. Maybe you should make this more action-y for that. That is my long-winded story about why I want Onimusha. If you've never played these games, I suggest you definitely check them out.
Well, when you first mentioned this topic to me, my first thought was, I really don't know how popular the game was, but was the reboot of the Prince of Persia, the cel-shaded one. I really liked...
The Uncharted one.
The Uncharted one, yeah. I really liked that game. I mean, it was fun.
That game still... I played it, I think a year ago, and it still looks really awesome.
It still looks great, and, people argue that it's not really a game, you can't really die or anything, but I love just wandering around collecting those silly light seeds or whatever.
It's a gorgeous game.
And it ended in a cliffhanger. Everything said there was going to be a second one. And then they started making Assassin's Creed, which was good. And then they came out with an epilogue. I'm like, well, at least that'll tide me over till 2. No, still ended with a cliffhanger pretty much. Like, nothing really got resolved. And then they just kept making more and more Assassin's Creeds until they, guys, that the franchise is just...
dead.
You gotta let it go eventually. But, so that's my biggest one that I...
3 names you've never heard of before. I have another Capcom game to talk about, which is Mega Man. Capcom canceled
They keep teasing Mega Man.
They keep teasing Mega Man. They show games like, just kidding. It's not a real game. We're canceling it. They actually made a Mega Man Legends 3 for the 3DS, and because they made a demo for it, and because not enough people joined the demo for the 3DS, which was not doing great, this was before they made that price drop. That's the reason why this thing didn't get a bunch of people on it, is because the DS wasn't selling. It wasn't the fact that no one wanted to join this project for Mega Man Legends 3. It's because no one had the 3DS to even join it, really. Because it was $250. Please, Capcom, bring it back. I want Mega Man Legends 3 for crying out loud. It doesn't even have to be the one that you're making for the 3DS. If you like Zelda and you've never played a Mega Man game, you need to play this game. Which I would say, hey, Lauren... where would you even do that? How would you play that game?
How would I play Mega Man?
You would not be able to play that game because you can't even play Mega Man Legends 1 or 2 on the PlayStation Network. They haven't put them on the PlayStation Network. You could make a remake or a collection to come out. I would buy that 1,000 times over. I would even buy like a $10 PSN game, but they don't even have it on there. No. I want to show you something real quick that I ranted about in a video that will be going up next week about the top PSP games. This is Rockman Dash 1 and 2, which is what Mega Man Legends is in Japan. And this is a special collector's edition, all in Japanese, that came out for the PSP. Sony had a thing about releasing PSP games that 30% has to be new content in order for them to bring it over to the West. Otherwise, they don't want to release straight-up ports. And that's what these are. These are straight-up ports just with PSP controls. And that's the only thing that this thing has been available on since the PlayStation discs. If you want to buy Mega Man Legends 1 or 2, go to Amazon or eBay, hundreds of dollars. You can't play these games. They're impossible to find, and they're amazing games. If people were just able to play these games, I mean, look at that art, Lauren. Look how cool this thing looks. There's a monkey on that girl's back. Jeez!
It's outrageous. So I don't know if I'm going to get quite as impassioned about my next game as you did, but I really like the Game Boy Advance and the DS Castlevanias, like Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and the Dawn of Sorrow games. Those were really good, and I would really like another game in that series dealing with Soma and him being Dracula. Spoilers, sorry. But
like everything now, that's just like Gabriel became Dracula. Everyone becomes Dracula. How can everyone be Dracula?
We're all Dracula.
We're all Dracula.
We're all Dracula.
Oh my gosh. What if the next Castlevania is a reboot where everybody is vampires except one person is born a non-vampire?
And you're trying to kill the non-vampire?
And you're trying a non-vampire.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's an angel, or he's God, or...
I just want Castlevania old school back, like the Game Boy Advance or the DS ones, not like the newer ones with Gabriel Belmont and all of that. And I want to go around like a Soma collecting souls again. And
you want a Metroidvania?
Yeah.
You want
I want to hang out with Alucard like you did. Even though that was never explicitly stated, but heavily implied.
The new game, The Lord of Darkness,
they were my
Shadows.
I didn't even play the second one. I played the first one, at least most of it. But
the PS2 games was they wanted to make God of War, and it's mostly it's fine, but it's just I want the classic style to come back.
I didn't mind the PS2 ones, but I want a 3DS game. That's the side-scrolling, no 3D environments, just the side-scrolling platformer.
Overall, I agree. For serious, I really do want a side-scrolling Castlevania once again. But as to my next game, I wanted to reboot Wild Arms. And it was a very early PS1 RPG. And it kind of got overshadowed because it was very graphically modest, let's call it.
I remember watching you play Wild Arms, and that was one game that I always wanted to play. And I know it's on the PSN, and I've looked at it a couple times. Something about the Wild West theme kind of appealed to me.
Exactly!
It was
Name how many Wild West RPGs are there. I'll tell you, it's Wild Arms. That, I know there have been a lot of Western, like a West style game, of course, and there's quite a few of those, but not so much RPGs. I mean, technically Wild Arms is more of a steampunk kind of Wild West setting, at least 1 and 2 are, and 3 is probably most like a Western, and the best in my opinion. Plus, I have a very soft spot for cell shading games. It still looks gorgeous. It really holds up. But 4 and 5 kind of got away from it. 5 was kind of getting back to it, and then there was the PSP game that kind of just wasn't very great, but I just want a new one of these. I don't care if it's a remake of one of them or just a brand new one. You don't even have to call it Wild Arms. You can call it, have it be a spiritual successor. Western RPG.
Western Arms.
Western Arms. What's your next idea? God, jeez, make your own idea, for crying out loud.
So, my next idea, again, isn't really a reboot. It's more of a sequel, but what I actually want is a prequel to Deadly Premonition. Swery's really quirky murder mystery supernatural game.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I mean, according to him, not Twin Peaks, but if you play it, it's Twin Peaks.
Secretly, he's like, it's Twin Peaks.
It's Twin Peaks, wink, wink. Man, that game, we had a good time playing that game.
We had a good time together playing that game.
Yeah.
Playing it in full length, there's a difference between playing it as in we're experiencing it and playing it as in playing it, actually making the controls move, because that's the worst part of the game.
And I've been playing on my own, trying to do some of the side quests, and it's not quite as fun, but it's got that sweary magic still. But I would want a prequel. So the game's about York, this FBI agent who comes into the small town, murder, and the whole time he's talking about these other cases that he solved that sound super interesting. So you could easily make a game about...
No. You can't skip past that. You gotta talk about the one specific one.
There's more. But, okay, so there was this one...
This is how you sold me on it, because it's how did this happen?
So, in the game, like, you go to the diner to eat, and he's telling these people about these different cases, and the one is about this, like, serial rapist that he was trying to catch, who he says raped 800 women in 2 years. That is...
Literally, they never caught him.
They never caught him, and that is so many women a day. That
800
is
women.
2 years. That's over 2 women a day.
This was just like a fun scene. There was a weird music going in the background. They're eating. Then all of a sudden, like, I had this case where this guy raped 800 women. We never caught him. And it's just like, they're just open mouth at him, like, anyway, what the hell is this coffee,
And there's the guy who had the skulls, and, like, he would, like, eat out of the skulls. They were, like, soup bowls or something. That this was a thing.
You know how you make this game good? Is you just make it an adventure game, put it on, I don't know, like a portable or whatever, and have it minimally controlled, where it's mostly just like choice driven.
You do what Swery wanted for Deadly Premonition, and you don't put the combat in. He didn't want combat in Deadly Premonition, and the people were like, "No, you need to have combat in a video game." But I think it could be really cool. You could still have like a supernatural element that Deadly Premonition had, because York didn't really seem fazed at all by any of the supernatural stuff going on.
If there's one thing that was great about Deadly Premonition, it was the story. And not that it was a good story, it was just like, it was full of, like, fun characters.
Yeah, it was fun, it was memorable, it was different.
Well, agreed. So, with that said, let's move on to another topic. For this extra life, I want to symbolically give it to Leonard Nimoy, who, of course, just died, sadly.
That was very sad.
And it made me think of like really what I want Extra Life to be, which is a topic for something that doesn't fit into video games, but something that is on my mind that I want to talk about. And it's not so much just about like, he died, let's all mourn that fact, but I just want to talk about how, because of the internet, a lot of people are kind of immortal. There's been so many tributes and so many nice things have been said after his death. And, even like during his career, everyone loves Leonard Nimoy. And he's had a long career. He had a long career. And he has a lot to show for it. And because of that, like, he will never die. The internet is a great place because things can be revived. Last week in the news, Invader Zim is coming back in comic book form. In 2017, they're making a new DuckTales. I mean, we just talked about Rock Band 4 is coming back. I mean, Rock Band hasn't been dead for that long. I think the last game was 2010 or 2011, so, it hasn't been that long, but a long gap for sure. And it's just nice to see public opinion being swayed online, where things can have Kickstarters and be like, do you remember that game for the Super Nintendo? Do you want like a spiritual successor to that and pay money? Because we want that too, but we can't do it on our own. And it's just cool. Just like last week when Shay and I talked about the Square Enix Collective, where they're giving the IPs to the Eidos games. And, it's like, we're not going to do anything with these properties, but if you want to pitch us an idea, we'll, support you. So it's nice that these sentiments are around. And while we can't give any kind of, like, revival, any kind of Phoenix Down to Leonard Nimoy, of course, he will always be around in our hearts, of course. I knew him only as Spock, only symbolically as well, because I've never watched a single episode of the show, but I know of his status, and he's been in so many things since then. There's like a really funny episode of The Simpsons, a classic Conan O'Brien one during about season 5 about the monorail, and he just kind of appears and then like disappears. It's just like a very funny bit part, but
and I grew up with the original series, watching reruns, and Spock was always my favorite character, and then seeing him on things like Fringe and doing voice work for like Kingdom Hearts and
he was so good as Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts, but also very sad because you could tell his voice was very straining.
And his Hobbit song, the song he wrote about Bilbo.
Bilbo Baggins,
the bravest hobbit of them all.
He's just a very...
He just seems so nice. He was one of those people that just always seemed nice.
I think generally he is one of those people that probably no one has anything bad to say about him.
And he just seemed happy to always meet his fans. And
yeah, and he really embraced Star Trek, of course, and I mean...
He will always be remembered. 50 years from now, people are going to remember Spock and Leonard Nimoy, and that's just a really nice sentiment.
Unless the internet goes away, and then no one will know anything.
Well, net neutrality was Nick's, so
yeah.
we're okay.
Yes.
But yeah, so live long and prosper, Leonard.
Exactly.
And all of you.
Peace be with you, and peace to you all. It's been so long since I've been to church, I can't remember how that whole thing ends. But anyway, amen, Latus Christe, Dominus, Raptus. And that was the Examiner Gamer Podcast, Episode 4. Oh boy, did we learn a lot, Lauren, didn't we?
Oh man, you guys really should pay for the extras on this one.
Yeah, okay, more so than ever, this is Episode 4, guys, so let's sit down and have a little chat, shall we? So, if you are, however you're listening to this, or whatever, I will just say it. If you want to enjoy this podcast for free, of course, there's the video podcast on YouTube. If you want to give us a little bit of money and help support the podcast, help us get maybe new equipment or maybe pay for some...
I still don't have a house.
Yeah. Lauren needs a house for crying
My
out
toilet
loud.
was literally sitting at the top of the steps when I came home yesterday, no joke.
What?
I'm redoing the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Now you're spelling it. Now you're saying you have a house, you have a toilet? What kind of non-homeowner has a toilet? Look at
Toilet on the steps.
This fancy girl over here has a toilet, everybody. Anyway.
I got a toilet and a tree.
So yeah, we have on our new Bandcamp for all of my podcast projects, pay $1. Pay $1 to pay for an enhanced audio version with extras at the end. Give us a little support, help make this go around, and show your appreciation for the show. Make sure to share it with everybody. You can make comments to us because we really want to have a community segment where we read letters or ideas, what you want for the show. Any kind of feedback would be fantastic.
Are they going to get letters?
Yes, we are going to get letters. If you buy this episode and you listen to all these bloopers after this closing sentiment, you want to tell me that certain things should be sent to hell, like me? Well, then that's your prerogative, of course. But if you only listen to this, you're never going to know what kind of terrible things I've said in the extra segment.
Especially this one.
Yes, this one.
Don't record after midnight. We've lost our
Usually
minds.
we podcast very early in the time, but we played games prior to this, and we had a lot of food and sugar, and
I don't know what's happened. He's making excuses. I'm not.
She's just sitting there and considering why we're friends now. So this will be the last time Laura and I hang out to do podcasts together. So make sure to buy this episode because this is gonna be
Miss you guys.
This is gonna be a collector's edition. Yeah, collectible. You're gonna collect this in your ears. So enough plugging. Do all that stuff.
Thanks for
Read
listening.
my stuff in Examiner and all that stuff. Find Lauren Stalker and make her a house out of a toilet or something. Whatever she wants. What do you want? She wants them also in a toilet. Fancy girl over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next time on the Examiner Gamer Podcast.
Bye.
Boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, subscribe, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, subscribe.